New season with Betway. Use the golden booking code found on the Betway site to bet on selected match week and get 100% back as a free bet on any losses. You always get more with Betway. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. Tonight, I'm here with
Hawa Idrisu Mustafa.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
If somebody alleged against you that you are the architect of the first video or the video, you in cahoots with Chief Bugri Nabu got these individuals taped, what will be your response to that, sir?
Honorable Chair, that is untrue.
IGP Dr. George Akufo-Dampare makes appearance before parliamentary committee probing the plot to remove him, saying he had no hand in the recordings as had been alleged by his senior in terms of age but not of rank, COP George Alex Mensah, who has been speaking before the committee. Also coming up, Electoral Commission begins limited registration exercise with NDC making accusations of selective operations by the EC. And later on Eyewitness News, we hear from the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA. It has some issues with government and it says that it is compelled, or its members are compelled, to pay additional charges at various checkpoints when transporting goods to the Ashanti region. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more of this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
government insists key macroeconomic indicators have turned around.
That's in 15 minutes from the business desk, City Business Desk. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a number of affiliate stations, including in the Northeast region on Eagle 94.1 FM in Wale. Also in Upper East on Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura. In Upper East on Word 88.3 FM in Zuarungu. In the Northern region on Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi. We are in the Volta region on Akpini Radio 96.7 in Kwando and Heritage 107.3 FM in Hohwe. In the Ashanti region on Orange 107.9 in Kumasi. We are also in Ahafo region on Hames 106.5 FM in Goso. Bono region we are on Greener 95.9 in Sunyani. In the Western region, we are on Premier 100.5 FM, Beach 105.5 FM, and Sky Power 93.5 FM. All of them based in Takrady. The show is also live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook, and we are interactive. Join us with your WhatsApp messages 0549 986 996. 0549 986 996. You can send tweets using the hashtag City Newsroom. Use the handle at Umaru Sanda or at City973. Now, the parliamentary probe, the parliamentary committee chaired by Samuel Atachia, which has been probing the plot to remove the IGP, Dr. George Akufo-Dampare, has been sitting today. The committee had before it the Inspector General of Police himself, Dr. George Akufo-Dampare, where he came to answer questions in response to issues that were raised against his person by other police officers who had appeared before the committee in the past few weeks. Howard has a summary of what has been happening.
The Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akufo-Dampare, has denied any involvement in plotting a secret recording with the former NPP Northern Regional Chairman, Daniel Bugri Nabu. The IGP appeared before the parliamentary committee tasked to probe the leaked tape that could lead to his removal from office. Addressing the committee, the IGP refuted the allegations that he was part of a conspiracy to secretly record conversations of the three implicated police officers, that is COP Alex Mensah, Superintendent George Asari, and Superintendent Emmanuel Eric Jebi and Bugri Nabu.
If somebody alleged against you that you are the architect of the first video or the video, you in cahoots with Chief Bugri Nabu got these individuals taped, what will be your response to that, sir?
Honorable Chair, that is untrue.
Inspector General of Police, it seems to me every serious police officer would want to be an IGP. That's natural, is it not?
Honorable Chair, that is the case.
And it is equally the case that when there is a vacancy relating to such a high and powerful office, and individuals are aware of the appointor of that high office, there will be attempts to, get to the appointor, so somebody is appointed. Is that not so?
Honorable Chair, that could be the case, in the sense that human beings are different. There will be somebody who will be going around to do that, and others too who may know that based on the quality they have, they may be contacted and assessed for the position. And even those who will go around to be doing that, there may be variance involved in the extent that they go. Thank you.
Did you pay regard to the statement of Honorable Kofi Boa, the MP for Elembele? The statement he made on the House floor, did you pay regard to that?
Honorable Chair, I have cited it and I have a fair idea what it contains.
Yes. You know, there's a very serious allegation to the effect that you are the most powerful person in the realm, according to the statement that was said on the House floor, to determine the outcomes of elections. What's your response to that?
Honorable Chair, I thank you for the question. Honorable Chair, the most important thing is this. Election involves so many stakeholders, and each one has its role, and the police also has its role. An election is a simple matter where each stakeholder play its role, and collectively we end up ensuring that it is over, and the people then decide who becomes the leaders.
Dr. Dampari also denied having any working relationship with the former Northern Regional Chairman of the NPP, Daniel Bugri Nabu.
You know Chief Bugri Nabu personally?
Honorable Chair, I know Chief Bugri Nabu, and my knowledge of him is like the knowledge that I have for most people that I come across, and like the knowledge I have for virtually everybody at the committee level, and also so many Ghanaians out there. Thank you.
Does he visit your office?
Honorable Chair, not that I'm aware.
When some of the witnesses.
Inspector General of Police, when he asked you this question, that does he visit your office, you said not that you are aware of. Is there any recording that, for instance, Atachia came to the IGP's office, and even if when we are not there, somebody will tell you that in your absence, so and so came to your office?
Honorable Chair, I have my ADC who let me know if anybody is in my office. But the aspect of recording and everything is done at the reception area.
If somebody came to where you are as the IGP, you'll be informed that Atachian was here.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
So I think the question demanded a yes or no answer. But when you say not that you are aware of, then you leave the issue at large.
Honorable Chair, if that's the understanding, then I'm sorry.
Yes.
I don't. The answer, not that I'm aware, simply means that he has not visited me.
Yes, please. Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, Chairman, so Chief Bugri Nabu does not have any commercial dealings with the police administration. That's it.
That is correct. And for that, I want to respond to the fact that it's one of the falsehoods that have been put out there in the public domain. He has no dealings, and I hear some contract, nothing.
He also described the allegations leveled against him by the 3 senior police officers as unfounded and unfair.
JB, my brother, my kid brother, when I became the Inspector General of Police, I call you and offer you the position of Director Cybercrime. My brother Asari has already gone through the whole process at various places, and by the time I came, he was still at the position of where he is today. We will not have recourse to as to where precisely he wants to be. And this is how I have coexisted with all of them. And as you can see from behind, all my management teams are here, because that is how we do it. Then all of a sudden, this matter came up, and the matter was about finding out what has happened and who said what and where it came from. And my brothers were given opportunity to come and speak, and they did speak and made indication that yes, they are involved in what was happening. Then all of a sudden, instead of them to focus on that, they came out with wild allegations, with wild allegations that touch my person, the police leadership that I lead, and the entirety of the police service. Without, until today that I'm being told that now they have some evidence, without a shred of evidence. At the time that they were making it, without a shred of evidence. And Honorable Chair, those wild allegations without a shred of evidence has brought a lot of pain to myself, my family across the country, and especially my wife and children. That you are so patriotic because you believe in what you call Pan-Ghanaianism, where you think that because of your multi-ethnic nature, everybody you see, as long as the person is a Ghanaian, is your brother or a sister, mother or father, uncle or aunt. Then the pain also to my command, my leaders, my team, that we work together, that you all know, and the pain to the thousands of police people who are appreciating the strides that we are making in transforming the organization to be the best institution in the country and a reference point for the rest of the world. They came with all these allegations in order to cover up probably the shame associated with what they got themselves involved in the first place. And I, an innocent person, focusing on my job, working in concert with my team and all commands across the country to keep the country safe and make it to be at peace with itself. I've been asked to come and answer to these allegations, which are wide, baseless. And I feel in my spirit, it's just not fair that anybody can just get up, make allegations upon allegations, and people who go across the country, at times 48 hours without sleep, just keeping the country at peace, will be called to come and answer allegations that are unfounded. And that becomes something. Anyway, I'm here. I have no choice.
Dr. Dampari also explained that the decision by the police to restrict public communication to its headquarters is in line with the best international practice.
It is something we have discussed at POMA, agreed upon a strategy for redefining our engagement with the public in a manner that sits well with international best practice. You have a system where you get up in the morning, everybody across the country, across at times district, division, and regional level, granting interviews on matters of police from a perspective that at times not informed by the full facts. And at the end of it all, when the facts come, the organization look unpresentable, and you keep dampening the spirit of the organization and continue to smear the image of the service in bad light. So we agreed at POMA that we need to redefine it as part of our transformation agenda, such that at the end of the day, before you speak to a matter, be sure that you have the full facts, so that gradually we'll create a system where something happened and the whole community, the whole people will say that until the police have come up, we don't believe what is being said. Rather than having a system where everybody is talking, would have truth, and putting the police in bad light because people think that it's coming from the police, it's not very well. How can we then win the hearts and minds of the public for them to partner with us to police them in a manner that will make the country feel at peace? So all this matter is not the invention of Dampari. It is something that we've looked at and then got all the commanders at all levels involved and get their inputs before it's handled. Because I quite remember a police management with regional commanders meetings were here, and all the PROs were brought, and they deliberated on this. And we all saw that this is good for the organization. Then the question that came, then how do we do things and inform the public timely so that there won't be any gap? Then we said that we will not sit down for things to happen on Friday and we behave as if we are not a security institution. We said that it is in the weekend, so we will inform the public the next Monday. But we know from my little understanding of media and information space, it's like a chair. Whoever walks in first sits on it. And you cannot come and sit on top of him or her. By that time, the public might have been informed or misinformed based on that information. So we need to have a very efficient way of getting information there as soon as possible. That is why you see that in recent times, information from police across all our media space are delivered on matters as soon as we have the full facts that will inform the public to continue to deepen their trust, confidence, and respect for us. We do that irrespective of the time of the day. You can have us seen coming out with information in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, in the night, at dawn. And at times when you release information at dawn, then you hear the next day people saying, are these people, don't they sleep? Because we love what we do and we are committed to it. So we are living international best practice. And this has redefined the way we go about pushing half through there and using that to dampen the spirit of the organization. And finally, we have even gone to the extent of ensuring that when that information is out there, there is no way it becomes something that people will cannot rely on. So, Honorable Chair, there is nothing that we are doing that is not informed by our strategy to transform and become the best institution in the country and reference point for the world. And by way of example, internationally and nationally, we are also learning from other institutions the way they conduct their public affairs. So the international standards we are looking for is both national in character and an international also in character or design. So we are very focused in working together as a team and with the public and with all stakeholders, including Parliament, to ensure that we have the best police service in Africa and beyond.
The IGP also dismissed claims of withholding the promotion of officers who are due for promotion. 82 aggrieved police officers have sued the Attorney General, the Ghana Police Service and the Inspector General of Police for acting unfairly with respect to the failure of the police service to promote them. The officers claim that they were due for promotions after the completion of their studies through the study leave with pay policy of the Ghana Police Service, but they are yet to be promoted several months after the completion of their studies. Here is the IGP, Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare, reacting to matters of promotion within the service.
There is no hold-up of promotion of any junior officer in the whole police service. Even as we speak, the structure has been that any junior officer who is 4 years are sent to training and they are promoted. And we are waiting to have all of them promoted. Those who are due, the next set of junior officers who are due for promotion, who are now, we have worked on in trying to rebuild their capacity, send them to Ashramati in the eastern region to reshape and recalibrate them. Are currently there, and we are rolling out these and making sure that they are promoted in December. And if we arrange it in such a way that it becomes like something like a Christmas store. So nobody in the service, and the junior rank like you are saying, whose promotion is being upheld. So that is another set of concocted story that is being put out there for mischievous reasons.
What about those senior officers whose promotions have to be sent from management to council?
Honorable Chair, every one of them, with the exception of a few, have been sent. And the few who have been sent, and the few who are there, is based on the fact that beyond the number of years that you have been in the position, there is other factors. And I'm told a few is about 7 or 8 or 9 other factors that come into it. And those other factors include competence, include vacancy, including integrity, including all other factors. And when this, beyond that, it becomes the preserve of the police council. And from that level, who make recommendations to His Excellency Mr. President, and for that to be effective. So as it stands, everybody who's supposed to be promoted based on the junior rank has been done. Everybody who's supposed to be promoted based on the senior rank has been done. And that is where we are.
That was the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare.
This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Adabraka, in Accra. When we come back, we'll hear from the committee chair on the next line of action. What else is the committee going to do? Is this the end? We are hearing that the Minister for National Security is supposed to come on Wednesday. Why is he also being invited? Stay with us. This is Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You know your papa see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa!
Bobo, so how your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that.
Yes, so
somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched.
Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz?
No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer.
Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency.
Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman.
Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer. can't touch that.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Adabraka in Accra. We've been playing for you excerpts of the sitting of the parliamentary committee probing the leaked tape, in which tape there was a plot to remove IGP Dr. George Ekufuor-Dampare. He himself was there to answer questions today. The committee is chaired by a Buakwa South Member of Parliament, the Honorable Samuel Atachi, and he's joined us on the line. Honorable, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Yes, my pleasure as always.
First of all,
for having me.
Thank you so much. First of all, in the beginning, we noticed a back and forth over the protest from Dampare's lawyer that the other witnesses ought not to be present while the questioning is happening. You insisted that there was nothing wrong with that. They raised issues suggesting that, well, the other witnesses came before the committee alone and came to deliver their statements or respond to questions. Why did you think that the other witnesses ought to be present when they are not even going to cross-examine him?
The very important matter that I was trying to stress was that was not the end of the issue before the committee. We are going to now adduce the evidence. Some of them, we are told, have national security implications. And then the first tape, which came from Chief Bugri Nabu, did not involve the IG. So there's no point in saying that, oh, okay, I have an issue, you have called him in when Bugri Nabu was testifying. It was Bugri Nabu came to authenticate the first tape. Now we have been educated and no, that was a truncated tape. There is a more serious tape that Bugri Nabu did not, deliver to the committee. So if now it's become very necessary that on the first tape, the IG's name is featured strongly and allegation have been made against, why shouldn't we call him that now come and also tell us the side of your story? And when we are telling your side of your story, it doesn't matter at all whether those who are accused who are seated or not. And how is their sitting going to affect the quality of your testimony? And how is it going to dilute what you want to say? So with the greatest of respect, because we are both lawyers, I didn't want to be too quarrelsome, but I didn't see the head or tail of the objection at all.
I know that there are instances where court hearings, there will be an announcement made where some people are asked to get out of the courtroom. You have said that they could simply go to another room and watch on TV screens, but I see in the courtroom some people are asked to get out of the courtroom when it comes to certain trials. Could that not be the same thing Dr. Dampare's team was looking out for from you as chairman?
Yes. Those people, who should not be in the courtroom half the time are the people who have never mounted the witness box. You see? And they are not supposed to hear what is going on or another moment to, it regards some hearing which will be in camera in the judge's chamber or the rest of them. But here we are, with the greatest of respect, that the people are seated and listening to you whilst you are testifying because they need your testimony for the second phase of the interrogation. How can you rightly say that the people who have not even finished their testimony do not hear what you are saying whilst you are seated giving the testimony? That's a little worry I had.
But you could have given them transcripts later, like you do for other committee, for other witnesses.
We know the power of a lawyer. He's watching the demeanor of the IGP. What we call the non-verbal, discernment of a lawyer. You see, so a lawyer looks at a man who is answering a question, and he can glean from his demeanor whether it's a witness of truth or otherwise. So why would you want to shortchange the people who subsequently give, they continue with their testimony that they shouldn't hear the IGP speaking? And I asked a question, which I don't believe he had an answer. What was the disadvantage to him when they hear him speaking?
Are you
What is
going
the
to?
disadvantage?
Are you going to, at a point, allow them to cross-examine each other?
We are looking at it critically. Why not? We're looking at it critically. At the end of the day, here you are for the first time. You are facing your accuser. What questions do you want to ask your accuser? And who ran away from the one who is trying to embarrass him without asking him very pertinent questions which will kneel to his innocence? So these are the areas we're looking at critically. And then we might want to say that, well, go ahead and ask him all the questions in the world. Here is the man who was accusing you of all manner of things. You have him. What are you going to do with him? If you have any countervailing evidence, bring it across.
There was an opportunity like that when the IGP said he expected your committee to ask the other witnesses to provide proof of their claim that the tape was with him. I thought at the point you would ask the witnesses to just turn on their microphones and respond.
Well, all that the IGP said, we didn't adduce any evidence. If you were watching him critically, we didn't say, what is the proof of this? What is the proof of that? What is the proof that these people are behind you? And why are they behind you? That they are supporting you? We didn't go there. We were responding to the allegations which will have to have proofs. So what we did for the other individuals, Superintendent Asari, COP Mensa, JB, and the rest of it, we afforded him the same opportunity. And then we have been educated that some of the issues when it comes to adduction of evidence will impinge on national security considerations. So this is a discretion we want to exercise and see. Some of them should be in camera. Some of them we should aid. Why not?
Are you going to still interrogate Dr. Dampari in camera?
I think that will not be ruled out. Seriously speaking, that will not be ruled out at all. And as to whether he will face his accusers, it might not be ruled out as well.
And the other three, will you be questioning them in camera as well in the coming days?
Certainly. It is where we're going to, require of them to substantiate what they said from the beginning. Where is the evidence of this? Where is the evidence of that? Somebody says, the IGP hobnobs with President Mahama consistently. That is when in camera we could say that, well, can you prove this? So if he's unable to prove it, then our findings of fact, we say they were bare allegations, very anemic and empty of every legal significance. That's how it should be.
But if the allegation was made in public, the public ought to hear the responses in public, no?
Well, if they have national security implications, then you know that it's not every conceivable matter which the public should be fed with. Every realm in the world, that thing works. There's not everything in the realm which is for public consumption.
You talk about national security, and in your closing remarks today, you mentioned that the Minister for National Security, Albert Kandapa, would be appearing before you on Wednesday. What is the drift? What's the connection?
Yes, the drift is very simple in the sense that there was one witness called Superintendent Asari who said he appeared before the National Investigations Bureau. It's also. So we want to confirm from the minister whether or not this gentleman appeared. And would he want to share some details of what transpired with us? Does it synchronize with what we are doing? Is a witness one of truth, having due regard to the background things is done with NIV? This is the sense of it.
Would that be in public?
It will be in camera. Because when you have a national security minister speaking on matters they did in the background or submarine, it shouldn't be a matter for public consumption. Because national security matters are not matters for public consumption.
When next? Go ahead. And when next should we see your committee sitting in public?
Well, it will be determined by the kind of evidence we can adduce in camera. So what we are attempting to do, that when it becomes necessary that, this is what we scooped out of the private engagement, and we should continue with the public here, we will do that. Because after all, the press is the fourth estate of the realm, and you shouldn't starve them with information. But you can starve the fourth estate of the realm information if those pieces of information have national security implications.
Daniel Bugri Nabu, the man at the center of all of this, is he going to return for a public questioning on all the matters that are arising?
Well, there's going to be most probably an in-camera engagement for him to come back, and we begin to ask him questions. And then everybody who wants to ask him questions will have the opportunity to ask him questions. I think he should come back, because at one point he said he taped the conversation. And then the people questioned that what was taped is not the full complement of the conversation. And it's doctored. Now we have one which is supposed to be the comprehensive conversation. He needs to reconcile the two. And then what is the new tape, so-called, is what transpired in his office. Foundational evidence, yeah.
The statements that were made before your committee, can these statements be used to prosecute any of the witnesses in a court?
I do not think so. Because as they sit as witnesses of parliament, they have immunity and they have privileges. The matters which have been divulged to parliament cannot be, the raw material for subsequent interrogation or investigation or service inquiry or those kind of things.
So then let me ask you what the layman would ask. So what is the use of your committee's work?
Well, essentially, it's part of what we call our remit, which we said it clearly. Is the tape which came out and became viral authentic? We need to find out. Are we able to ascertain whether there was a conspiracy to remove the IGP by reason of probably MPP's agenda to break the eight, thinking that he is the one who is standing as an impediment? That is very important. It's something that we should look at. Then we should also investigate any other matter contained in the audio recording. We should recommend sanctions to persons found culpable where appropriate, and make recommendations for reforms where necessary, and make such other recommendations and consequential orders as the committee may deem appropriate. So these are the 6 legs of the committee's work that we need to go into.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
My joy as always.
That's the Honourable Member of Parliament for Iboakwa South, who chairs the Ad Hoc Committee of Parliament investigating the leaked audio tape, which talks about or has persons on it planning to remove the Inspector General of Police. That's Honourable Samuel Atachia. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. From Sunday, Daniel Akpaliok sends a message and he says, I really admire the level of intelligence and wisdom exhibited by the IGP at the committee hearing. Listening to him, there's no doubt that this man has risen through the ranks by merit. As far as I'm concerned, the current IGP has proven to be the best IGP both in his diplomacy and leadership styles. He has made Ghanaians proud today. Tete Zuta in Accra says, nothing serious will come out of this. What is more national security than what they said in the audio? Atachia and his committee should give us a break. Prof. Intema says, which institution in this country has left public communication in the hands of its decentralized structures? Not even GES. IGP should be left alone. Blueprint from Esikado Kitan, the constituency of Jogati, says the whole police force needs a total overhaul, and I believe a presidential commission of inquiry to probe further on the leaked audio. Man Sakara from Nungwa says the responsibility of appointing an IGP should be taken from the president. I was very surprised to hear the IGP saying he knew nothing about their interdiction. What is happening now is an institutional problem which has to do with career progression. Nana Opoku from Esium says, Dampare is down to earth. I really like the IGP and appreciate his relentless efforts to serving our nation, Ghana. When sense is talking, classy response, someone who has risen through the ranks but for politics and greed of a colleague. Al-Hassan Hamdan from Nyoini South says Dampare is just a man and he is not perfect, but he has brought sanity to the police service. He's very innovative and believes no one is above the law. Jones Aduboy in La says, good evening, Umaru. I want to believe that the current IGP is doing something right so long as the police service is concerned, hence the attempt to denigrate him. Mustafa from Lower Manya Krobo says the people we entrust our safety into their hands are rather struggling over power and authority. I think COP Alex Mensah is pained over the IGP position given to Dr. Dampare. I pray for a fruitful outcome.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Yeah, Charlie, so many vibes na bonten father ma sanaba. Ma many papa nnuanu na do fa mo fie ni mo akwentom. Hwe bibia anya so amani ska ko fie si enfensi da na fie fo abefo jawsi no parking. Ebe me Sujai Casa. Thanks to Sukasa, how to nyina atwa. Hwe Sukasa si adan abroni for an affordable luxury homes. All more 2, 3, 4 bedrooms. Where you're fully gated or grants and communities. Or more malls, clubhouse, and all social amenities. Plus 24-hour security. Omusa with flexible payments and yeah, no my dear Dal Casa. Plus 100% guaranteed cashback. Yes, 100% guaranteed cashback. No quick one-answer stories. Contact Sukasa right now through phone calls or WhatsApp on 030-296-0865 and 055-369-7886. Charlie, social media so more, baby. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube at Sukasa GH. Email Susi at info@sukasa.com.gh. Sukasa, building on trust.
When shopping for a dress, you say,
of course, the low burst line. A little tight by the hips. Covered sleeves. Off shoulder. Definitely.
But when buying anti-malarial drug, you say,
is it not malaria? Give me whatever is available.
Choose your malaria drugs the same way you choose your dress. Always ask for Coatem. It's also available in cherry-flavored dispersible tablets for children. Don't gamble with malaria. Choose right. Choose Coatem. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Malaria testing should be done before treatment. This advert is FDA approved.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You're welcome back. The opposition National Democratic Congress NDC is accusing the Electoral Commission of making the voter registration process difficult at its stronghold. The ongoing limited voter registration exercise is targeted to register over 1 million persons who have turned 18 years since the last registration in 2020. The 21-day exercise began today and is scheduled to end on October 2, 2023. But at a media briefing this evening on the exercise so far, National Chairman of the NDC, Johnson Esedun Ketia, revealed that the NDC has deliberately taken 40 machines to some of its district offices in areas they deem as NDC-dominated areas to frustrate eligible voters.
Tamale North, network and machine breakdown. Lower Manya Krobo, network breakdown. Tamale South, machine breakdown. Tamale Central, machine breakdown. Elembele, machine network, machine and network breakdown. Timpane, machine and network breakdown. You see, here too, the breakdowns are politically selective. There is not more than 2 centers where these breakdowns are happening, which are in the stronghold of MPP. All the rest are in the stronghold of NDC. So, when we are complaining, this is the evidence. It's like His Excellency, when he was complaining about politicization within the Bar Association and the others, chose to campaign at the Bar Association conference for people to vote for his party and not any other person. You see? So the evidence that people are looking for to support the claim that you are politicizing the legal system, you yourself in your speech have provided that evidence.
That was the national chairman of the NDC, Johnson Esedun Ketia.
Let's understand more what the claim the NDC is making. Mustafa Gbande is a Deputy General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. Mustafa, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. Is it not too early to start this allegations or accusations against the Electoral Commission. You were saying that there was a deliberate decision to prevent some people from some parts of the country from registering today?
Well, it is late enough not to have occurred in the first place.
Which are the specific areas that you say have been prevented from registering? You want to name some constituencies?
I believe that the national chairman, in addressing the press conference, had named a couple of constituencies. Tamale North, Tamale South, Lower Manya, Alembele, and many more others. And all these constituencies are NDC strongholds. If you go to the Volta region, a lot more have happened over there. Reports I have on my table does not reflect same when it has to do with Eastern region and then Ashanti region, particularly an MPP stronghold. And so we want to believe that if the Electoral Commission says that it is conducting a very universal exercise, then we should not be having machines breaking down, network breaking down at NDC strongholds other than the entire nation. So this is a manifestation of selective political breakdowns that are occurring just to further advance the voter suppression agenda that the Electoral Commissioner is carrying out.
Are you sure that if you checked, there wouldn't be breakdown of machines in other parts where NPP may be the party that is holding power there?
I am speaking because I have just coordinated reports from the various regions, and we are speaking to evidence. The national chairman spoke because at the time he was speaking, interim reports have been gathered for him, and so he spoke on matters of fact. As we speak today, if you check in the Krati areas, in the Afram Plains areas, where the Electoral Commission promised that because of the special cases, particularly that people will have to travel several kilometers to cross the lake to come and register, the Electoral Commission promised that it was going to have a special arrangement. It never gave such orders to their offices in the district to undertake or to rule up any special provision, such as transporting the people from the lake or getting another machine to move besides the lake or across the lake to get the people registered. So clearly, this is a manifestation of a cooked plan by the Electoral Commission under the influence of the MPP and the government establishment led by the president himself to put mechanisms in place to undermine the credibility of our election, to undermine the processes of registration, and to make sure that they disenfranchise people who legitimately qualify to register. And that is a very worrying development in a democratic state.
Did the EC give a general response to the challenges at all these areas, or has it given responses to the isolated cases? What has it been saying to you, the officers at the various centers?
The EC is very adamant to address any challenge that any political party will raise. With the support of government, the EC would have avoided these challenges in the first place if the EC was willing to listen to recommendations from political parties. One would say that because NDC is not going to IPAC, what about the other political parties that attended the IPAC in which they all kicked against this particular process in the manner it is being organized, only for the Electoral Commissioner to agree, come out of the meeting and do otherwise? What about that? Clearly, you are dealing with a woman who, in her own right and wisdom, believes that she must undermine the credibility of our electoral system. And that, for us, is a recipe for chaos and disaster. It undermines the credibility of our institutions, democratically stated in the Constitution, to advance the cause of Ghanaians. And that is what the NDC has been talking about.
What are you saying to your supporters in these areas you say were deliberately prevented from registering today?
We like, for example, there's a place that 150 people turn up, they are in a queue, but only 25 of them got registered. It means that the remaining have to go home, find a place to sleep. Who is going to take care of their accommodation? Who is going to give them food so that they will sleep in the district capital, and only God knows the number of days it is going to take these people to stay in the district capital to get registered. So we will continue to campaign so that the people who have been subjected to this unreasonable exercise, the hardship that they are being exposed to, they will note that while they go through the hustle to register. But we further assure Ghanaians that registering to vote is a responsibility that all Ghanaians are supposed to undertake. And that the only way to change a bad government is not go in arms, but to make sure that you participate in the selection process of the government. And so, teeming youth who are unemployed, teeming youth who are affected by the hardship of the economy, youth who are affected by the corruption by this government, having been exposed to this exercise, will be determined to go through the hustle to register so that they can vote in 2024. And that is the encouragement we have given them. As we speak, we have deployed ourselves to the constituencies to make sure that we sympathize and stay with the people throughout this hustle to ensure that they get registered. And that is what the NDC is doing.
Well.
We do not have stolen money to share. We do not have resources to share. All we have is a gospel truth of fact. We are telling the people and we are with them. We associate with what they are going through. We will be with them throughout this exercise, noting that MPP and the Nanado-led government, by association of the Electoral Commission, is the one who have created this mess. He is the one who have exposed them to these inhumane treatment, unjust treatment, as far as this registration process is concerned.
Thank you for speaking to us. That's Mustafa Gbande, his Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. We've been doing a roundup of the registration centers across the country. Hawa has a summary for us.
Now, Sunday in the Ashanti region, long queues were recorded at the various offices of the Electoral Commission. Here are some of the applicants speaking to City News.
When you look at the line here, the queue that are here, you can see that many of us, we are struggling to get inside and do the voter's ID card. But as times continue, as time is going on, there are a lot of us who has already done it. We came since morning, and a lot of us has done some of it. But we are struggling. We are struggling to do one or two things so that we can get inside to do the voter's ID.
What difficulty did you face?
We found the queue. The queue too was long. So we sit here since in the morning.
So how does it feel like getting a card today?
I'm happy.
Those were some voter ID applicants in the Ashanti region. Now, the exercise also took off smoothly in the 12 municipal and district assemblies in the Bono region. Speaking to City News, Sunyani Municipal Director of the Electoral Commission, Ernest Opoku, urged members of the public who have not been enrolled onto the register to take advantage of the registration window.
We started the exercise at 8 a.m. and so far so good. We have the political parties represented here, actively involved in the exercise. So together we are doing well. For now, everything is smooth. I will advise all qualified Ghanaians who have just attained 18 years old and those who for one reason or the other, even though more than 18 years, but have not got their names onto our voters register. We will advise all of them that this exercise is for them, an opportunity for them to get their names onto our voters roll.
Ernest Opoku is the Senior Municipal Director of the Electoral Commission. Now, some of the new registrants also shared their thoughts on the exercise.
And I'm very happy to register, getting the opportunity to register the first time to get a vote.
I'm happy. So I'm happy that I've get some opportunity to register the ID card. So if they are coming to vote, I can also vote some.
I feel good. In fact, when I came here, I was feeling nervous. The process was good.
We had some registrants of the voters' ID in Sunyani in the Bono region. Now, members of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, have issued a 2-week ultimatum to the government and the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority to find a permanent solution to their concerns. According to the group, They are compelled to pay additional charges at various checkpoints when transporting their goods to the Ashanti region after clearing them from the port. They argue that these extra charges are eroding their business capital. Addressing the press conference in Kumasi earlier today, the regional chairman of GUTA, Anthony Opon, said they would picket as their numerous engagements with government have been unsuccessful.
The irony of it is that we've engaged everybody who matters in this issue. Our regional minister, the assistant commissioner for the regions, the BNI director for the region. We contacted the regional security coordinator, everybody who matters. We've gone all the way to Accra to meet the commissioner of customs himself, and to no avail. So the people think enough is enough. So now they are fed up. That's the reason why you see what we are seeing this. What we are saying is, me in my position as a third national president of GUTA, I communicate with all my counterparts in the regions. Nothing of this sort is going on in any other regions. So why only Ashanti region? So we think it's a deliberate policy or a deliberate agenda by some people to collapse businesses in Ashanti region. That's why we are calling them we are giving them 2 weeks ultimatum to ensure that this harassment stops. Else we are going to call for the closure of all shops in Ashanti region for 2 weeks. After that, if you don't hear from the government, we are going to organize a massive demonstration. We will enter into the heat on the streets and make sure the government hears from us.
Anthony Opon is the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the Ghana Union of Traders Association. Now, rescue efforts are underway to find some 3 foreign nationals of the SDA at SAMS, the company at the center of the deadly explosive disaster at Kobna Andochrome in the Shama district of the Western region. The 3 believed to be Chinese have gone missing since the incident happened on Saturday night. 2 officials of the company were yesterday detained by the 2nd Divisional Police Command, but were later released on bail after writing their statement. A member of the 9-member investigative committee and the assemblyman of the Anto Aboso electoral area, Emmanuel Owu-Erie, says the 2 officials are Lucas Ampon, Human Resource Manager, and Gabriel Bequin, Site Manager of SDA at SAMS.
At the moment, the latest information we have here is that yesterday, when the committee was inaugurated, they came to site to have a first-hand information, to have a look at what is happening. And afterwards, myself as the assembly member and the 2 Ghanaian gentlemen who manned the place, talking of the HR and site manager, went to the police station, 2nd Division Police Command, to write a witness statement. And after writing our statement, the 2 gentlemen who are managing the place were detained. But later, after having an engagement with the regional police commander, they were granted bail to report early this morning to also help in the investigation process as it is ongoing. So for now, this is what has happened, and we are looking forward to see whatever again that comes up. We are still unable to find the 3 Chinese bodies, and the investigation is still ongoing. The search team is still on the ground. We are praying that there will be a miracle for us to know their whereabouts, either dead or alive. So this is what has transpired so far.
Emmanuel Owu-Erie is the assemblyman of the Anto Aboso electoral area and a member of the 9-member investigative committee tasked to look into the explosion that occurred last Saturday at Aboso Anto in the Western region.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
Time now for City Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ni Latte. Details of our stories now. The government is insisting that the country's key macroeconomic indicators have turned around. It is thus reaffirming its resolve to put the country back on the path of growth and and stability. Even in the face of the prevailing difficulties, government remains positive to achieve economic rebound. Ghana's economic situation became a major talking point even before the country turned to the International Monetary Fund for support. Fiscal and monetary concerns were on the heels of global shocks, inflationary pressures, depreciation of the cedi, unstable debt levels, and loss to access to the international capital market, leading to domestic debt restructuring. Despite these challenges, government during the 2023 mid-year budget review said the economy has turned the corner, to the disagreement of industry watchers. At the ongoing mid-year statutory meetings of the West African Monetary Zone, Chief Director at the Ministry of Finance, Eva Men, said there have been significant results.
According to data from the World Bank, our region's GDP grew net inflation at a compound annual rate of 4% between 1990 and 2021. However, per capita basis, this was just 1.3% due to population growth. Over that period, foreign direct investment has been minimal, with one exception, corresponding to the investment in iron ore between 2009 and 2014. Regional trade performance has almost been flat. On the domestic front, Ghana's economic growth remains positive despite the significant impact of multiple crises. Government remains focused and resolute on restoring macroeconomic stability. Consequently, we have crafted and secured the support of the IMF to implement the Post-COVID Program for Economic Growth, PCPEG. This will enable us to address the recent macroeconomic imbalances and establish a path to high long-term economic growth. Already, we are seeing the results as key indicators have seen a turnaround.
Chief Director of the Ministry of Finance, Eva Mens, ending that report. Now, banking consultant Dr. Richmond Ituahene is urging the Ministry of Finance and the Central Bank to expedite the operationalization of the Ghana Financial Stability Fund to address insolvency of some state and private banks which participated in the domestic debt exchange program. The 15 billion Ghana cedis fund is expected to strengthen the country's financial system by enhancing overall macroeconomic stability, which will also provide short-term liquidity to eligible financial institutions. In an interview with Citi Business News, Dr. Ituahene highlighted the significance of the operationalization of the fund.
After the DDEP, which has had a serious impact on the banking sector. So, government having the funding or not, finance is very important. The question we ask ourselves, why have we waited all this while? Well, we could have done it in 2017 before the DDEP. Now today, the DDEP has affected all the banks. I can conveniently tell you, none of them is safe because we are saying that they should operationalize the stability fund to keep even ADB you're talking about afloat. It hasn't been done. And I'm wondering how you can bring these two not strategic fit together in these times of the period.
You heard banking consultant Dr. Richmond Ituahene. Moving on, the Ghana Standards Authority has reiterated its commitment in ensuring that both domestic and international market actors conform to its benchmark values by intensifying its enforcement strategies. According to the authority, this will give a boost to local industries and ensure Ghana achieves a target of becoming a globally competitive manufacturing hub in Africa. Here is the Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority, Professor Alex Dodu.
We do know that to move from our current state into the future is going to be about standards, it's going to be about manufacturing. We have world-class companies, we have world-class products, we have everything world-class. So if we are not there, the question will be, why are we not there? First and foremost, we pledge that the Ghana Standards Authority will work with the AGI. The issues of customs are beyond our pay grade at the Standards Authority. But what we can do, and we pledge we will do, and I'll tell you why in a minute, is that we would enforce. We would ensure a level playing field for all importers, exporters, and manufacturers in the Republic of Ghana. Because when we enforce, you become more competitive. Because allowing you to compete unfairly with people whose products do not meet the approved standards or which have come in through routes that we are unaware of and who may not have paid the adequate taxes makes you uncompetitive and affects your businesses. Our job is to clean up the market, and cleaning up the market to benefit local industry.
Professor Alex Dodu is Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority. Away from that, and the Director of Business Operations at Dalex Finance, Joe Jackson, is cautioning both government and investors to be mindful of the high interest rates on the government's treasury bills. This, he explains, could have dark consequences for the government as it signals that domestic debt could be compounded. The government surpassed its auction target last week as treasury bill sales recorded 13.21% oversubscription of a target of 2.6 billion Ghana cedis. In an interview with Citi Business News, Joe Jackson expressed strong disapproval over this trajectory on the money market.
We are piling up short-term domestic debt at a rate which is bordering on ridiculous. No, my challenge is not that the government is borrowing. My challenge is the rate at which it is borrowing. And that's why I refer to March this year, when the government rejected the bids and asked the institutions to resubmit lower bids, and the rate dropped from as high as 35% to 19%. It is not that they are borrowing, it is the rate at which they are borrowing. In any case, if the government said it wasn't going to accept these high bids, where's the money going to go? Where are the alternatives? What are the alternatives for the institutions that are giving the government money? What are the realistic alternatives? They are not there. We should be querying the government for borrowing at these high rates. We should be querying the institutions for lending at these high rates, because we are creating the same problem that was there last year that caused us to go for a bailout, that caused us to have a domestic debt exchange program, not once but twice.
You heard Director of Business Operations at Dalex Finance, Joe Jackson. Finally, in a bid to foster innovation and tackle pressing societal issues, the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, NEIP, has launched the National Innovation Challenge. The initiative aims to harness the power of innovation and creativity by inviting individuals, startups, and organizations to develop inventive solutions. Deputy CEO of the program, Abigail Lai, at the launch encouraged innovators from various backgrounds and locations to seize the opportunity to make a real impact on society through their creative solutions.
Ideas that are presented for the National Innovation Challenge must be innovative, they must be creative to inspire others, they must be able to solve a problem, they must have market potential, and they must have commercialization and presentation quality. We are looking to have ideas presented in sectors such as agric, technology, manufacturing and processing, general business, and any other. We don't want anybody left out. So whatever idea you have, you can present it to us. So for this particular competition, the National Innovation Challenge, there is no age requirement, meaning every Ghanaian can apply for this program. You of course have to be a Ghanaian that's defined by law. You have to have an idea that is, again, innovative, creative, able to solve a problem, and the idea must have market potential. But more importantly, the idea must be original, meaning it might be your idea, because we are hoping to hold your hand from that idea stage all the way to the point of you being commercialized, as in being brought out into the market. So make sure the idea at least is an original idea from you.
Deputy CEO of the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, Abigail Lai. Ending Citi Business News on Eyewitness News with me, Ni Latte. Next is Point Blank.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Papa!
Bobo, so how be your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Tell you guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that.
Yes, so
somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched.
Sancho Panza.
Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz?
No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer.
Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design?
It's superb.
Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency.
Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman.
Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Tonight on Point Blank, the electioneering process begins with the registration exercise for persons who don't have voter cards by the Electoral Commission. The NDC has been raising issue with the registration exercise. Today, the EC rolls out the program and the NDC says there's been problems in some of the centers. The national chairman of the party, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, called the press to tell Ghanaians what the NDC has as difficulties with the electoral registration process. Let's listen to him.
Even though the Electoral Commission has the right to determine or to designate where registration should take place, they should make sure that every registration center is suitable to be used as a voting center. And again, it's accessible as a voting center. We believe that the restriction of these registration exercises to their district offices are neither suitable nor accessible as registration centers. Given the fact that the district offices of the EC are not suitable for use as polling stations on election day, the decision by the EC to restrict voter registration to its district offices is not only unreasonable, but unlawful. Also, given the long distances that many eligible voters will have to travel and the exorbitant fares they will have to pay to transport themselves to district offices of the EC under the excruciating hardship Ghanaians are presently confronted with, the decision is insensitive, unreasonable, unlawful, and unconscionable. Ladies and gentlemen, it is instructive to note that Regulation 30 of CI 91 enjoins the Electoral Commission to revise the voters' register annually and to do so at the electoral area level. Yet, the Jimensan-led EC has violated the law in the last 2 years by not conducting any limited registration in 2021 and 2022. This has created a huge backlog of about 2.8 million eligible persons, including unemployed youth who are entitled to be registered. This huge backlog is the more reason why the Electoral Commission's decision to restrict voter registration to their district offices is unconscionable and preposterous. In 2019, the EC conducted limited voter registration in 1,500 electoral area centers. Why will the EC reduce this number of registration centers to 268 now that they have a huge backlog of about 2.8 million persons to register? It simply does not make sense. This irresponsible and unconscionable decision of the Commission confirms the NDC's long-held view that the Jim Mensah-led Electoral Commission is determined to rig election 2024 through voter suppression. But she will fail because we are ready for them. Aside its potential to suppress registration and voting, the EC's decision to restrict voter registration to its district offices can promote and facilitate gerrymandering, as agents of political parties will find it difficult to challenge persons who may be barred from one constituency to register to another to register. Ladies and gentlemen, in addition to the NDC, there are 4 other political parties who are plaintiffs in the instant case at the Supreme Court. And as already indicated, the PNC has also thrown its weight behind the suit. In fact, CODIO, Care Ghana, and other stakeholders in our electoral space have all criticized this unreasonable decision of the Electoral Commission. Apart from the ruling and corrupt NPP party, no other political party or stakeholder has supported this decision by the Electoral Commission. This clearly shows that the Electoral Commission is the problem and not the NDC. And we know the only reason why the MPP is supporting this unreasonable and unlawful decision is because they are the masterminds and sole beneficiaries of same. In an unusual twist, when our lawyers filed the injunction application last week, Thursday, we were informed by the registrar of the Supreme Court that the due date for the application for interlocutory injunction to be moved will be given on Monday upon the express instructions of the Chief Justice of our dear Republic of Ghana. The decision by the registry of the Supreme Court to defer giving a hearing date for the injunction application on grounds that the Chief Justice is currently out of Accra leaves much to be desired, and as the CJ should have delegated same to act in her absence, as the practice is. The administration of justice in our apex court cannot come at a standstill simply because the Chief Justice is indisposed or unavailable to give hearing dates. What happened to the e-justice system the John Mahama-led NDC administration toiled for? This deliberate delay should not happen in any civilized country, and this is completely unacceptable. Ladies and gentlemen, when people complain about the administration of justice, the president has the gut to complain about the people who are complaining. Can't you see what is happening? That this same judiciary can find time to grant injunctions against people who intend to demonstrate against corruption at the at the Bank of Ghana with alacrity. And yet, that same judicial system cannot find time and space to grant such an important injunction against an exercise which is wrongly being conducted and which has the potential to throw this country into a turmoil. What type of justice are we experiencing in this country? Those who don't want us to complain about the bad justice system have a responsibility to correct what is wrong. We are only writing the testimonial. If a student conducts himself in a way, that student has already lived the testimonial. So the head teacher does no wrong when that testimonial is converted onto paper. So those who don't want us to complain about a wrong system must fix that wrong system first. And it is their responsibility. This is yet another clear evidence of judicial manipulation, and we condemn it in no uncertain terms. We are aware that the EC has also been served with 2 applications for injunction from courts of competent jurisdiction, specifically the High Court. Yet the lawless Jim Mensah-led EC has decided to flout these injunction applications by going ahead with the registration exercise in flagrant disregard to the letter and spirit of the rule of law. We're all in this country. Since the Electoral Commission started operating from 1992, they have restrained themselves from proceeding with any exercise the moment they receive an application for injunction against such exercise. Any institution has a way. There are 2 positions to take when there is an application for injunction. One position is that it is a mere application, so unless it is granted, it is not binding. That's one position. The other position, which Electoral Commission itself has adopted over 30 years now, is that when they receive a process, it is noticed that something is going to happen. So they stop whatever they are doing. And this is the first time the Electoral Commission is changing this posturing. Indeed, just last May, when we were doing our primaries, there were 2 applications to injunct our process. The first one was filed by Dr. Dufo. And when we worked around the clock to get that application vacated, immediately after the vacation, the Electoral Commission told us, getting to 4 p.m., told us that there's another application we have received. So because of that, we are unable to conduct your exercise. And we had to work within 1 hour to get that matter resolved before Electoral Commission could proceed to conduct our elections. What has changed? What has changed? Today, 5 political parties have served the Electoral Commission with an injunction. And they ignore it and proceed to do the exercise. And we're still, the Chief Justice gives instruction that in her absence, nobody can fix the date for the hearing at the Supreme Court matter. Know very well that she will be absent. So what are we witnessing in this country? We are calling on the intervention-happy ECOWAS countries that they better act to stop civilian coup d'etats from happening. They shouldn't close their eyes on this flagrant disregard of the principles of democracy and rule of law, only to jump in when somebody overthrows that system. They now jump in to say they are going to restore democracy. What type of democracy are you restoring in the first place? So we are signaling the peers of Nanado that this is the time they should talk some sense into the heads of their colleague. They shouldn't wait till things go bad before they jump up and want to restore what is already bad for us. We all have a responsibility to correct things before they go bad. And as I have always said, democracy can tolerate bad governance so long as the means of changing that bad governance is not tampered with. If you have a wrong leader, we all tolerate, with the hope that maximum 4 years, we will have the right to change that leader and better our circumstances. It is worse when you act to block the means of peaceful change. It is then and only then that you invite violent changes. We don't want violent changes. So we want everybody to come on board and help us to ensure that the means of peaceful change is not blocked. And that is why we are addressing the nation the way we are doing today. We wish to emphasize that the EC's decision to proceed with the limited voter registration exercise today, despite being served with 2 injunction applications from the courts, contradicts an important precedent set by they themselves during the 2023 NDC presidential and parliamentary primaries, when they publicly announced the suspension of their supervision of our primaries on grounds of a suit and injunction application filed by Dr. Kwabena Dufo. What has changed? Why this inconsistency? Ladies and gentlemen, notwithstanding these pending legal matters, the NDC is fully ready for the registration exercise, which was illegally commenced by the EC today. We are ready, very ready. But we care for the poor registrants who must cater for the cost and constraints of being registered to vote. We currently have our agents and officers in all 268 district offices of the Electoral Commission countrywide. We are keenly and actively monitoring the process and will ensure that the manipulations of the Electoral Commission and the ruling MPP calculated to suppress votes and rig the process are defeated and defeated soundly. NDC shall always stand and fight for the masses. We therefore wish to call on all NDC officials at all levels, members, sympathizers, and Ghanaians as a whole to encourage and fund and assist all eligible persons or prospective registrants to defy the EC and participate in the ongoing registration exercise. Your vote is your power. Don't allow the Jimensan-led EC to rob you of it, no matter what. Relatedly, we have outlined some discrepancies in the registration process which commenced this morning. And we wish to share a few with you in order to jolt the EC into action. We expect the Electoral Commission to act swiftly in order to avert any further loss of confidence in the Commission. And these are a few of them. Just this morning, over 90% of centers were not able to print out the required start of the day printout across the country. Before you undertake any exercise, to check that names have not already been preloaded on the machines, you print start of the day printout. Thank you.
National Chairman of the National Democratic Congress. Ending tonight's edition of Eyewitness News. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadou. Production by Beverly London, Kobna Wilson, and Sami Wiafi. Technical support from Daniel Squashi. And new media support from Edwin Kwakofi. We'll be back tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. Thank you for listening. Up next is EPL Pitchside Podcast with Benjamin Ketia and the City Sports team. Stay tuned in.